Let me start with a couple questions that might make you raise an eyebrow, or throw your remote across the room. Why did the WNBA stay silent at the exact moment the entire basketball world was watching Caitlin Clark light up another stage? Why are major sponsors suddenly sliding their checks away from the league logo and quietly toward one single player? How did one rookie accidentally expose the league's biggest insecurity? And is this whole thing, this sponsor shuffle, this commercial explosion, this fan obsession, the beginning of the end for the WNBA as we know it? Or is it simply the rise of the first unstoppable global star the league cannot control? Yeah, we're going there today. Before we dive in, go ahead and hit the like button so the algorithm doesn't pretend it never saw this video. And if you're new here, subscribe. We talk about the stories everybody whispers, but nobody wants to say out loud. All right, buckle in, because this isn't another Caitlin Clark highlight breakdown. This is a crisis. A messy one, a silent one, and one the WNBA hoped you'd never notice. Let's rewind to that moment, the one you probably saw all over your feed. Caitlin Clark at the event that should have had the entire WNBA social team typing like their lives depended on it. It was trending everywhere. SportsCenter posted, Bleacher Report posted, every news account with a pulse posted. And the WNBA? Nothing. Not even a pity retweet. Fans saw it immediately. So did sponsors. And it proved what people have been yelling all season. The WNBA is trying to quiet the noise around Caitlin Clark. Whether that's true or not, perception is everything. And the league's silence was basically a billboard that said, "Yep, you caught us." Meanwhile, the LPGA, yes, golf, executed the moment better than the WNBA ever has. They put Caitlin front and center, they televised it, they packed the event. They even paired her with their star because they knew the eyeballs she brings could resurrect a fossil. Golf was out here playing 4D chess, while the WNBA was playing whatever game involves ignoring the person paying your bills. And, speaking of bills, let's talk about the sentence nobody thought would ever be literal. WNBA sponsors abandoning the league for Caitlin Clark. That sounds dramatic, right? Clickbaity, YouTubey. Except, behind closed doors, inside Adam Silver's world, it's becoming a very real problem. Brands aren't stupid. Their spreadsheets light up like Christmas trees every time Caitlin Clark steps on a court. They can literally track spikes in viewership, merch sales, ticket prices, social mentions, you name it. Every graph looks the same. One giant line shooting upward, and one name at the center of it, Caitlin Clark. At first, brands tried to play nice. They spread money across the league, they smiled for the cameras, they slapped logos on jerseys and courts. But then something changed. The numbers weren't just good when Caitlin was on screen. They were historic, record-breaking. Who the hell is watching WNBA preseason numbers? Executives started asking quiet questions, like, can we get more Caitlin in national windows? Can we feature her in our campaigns? Can we build content around her specifically? This is the part where the league should have said, yes, for the love of all things basketball, yes. But instead, rather than protect their rising superstar, rather than build around the only player driving generational viewership, rather than say, hey, maybe don't publicly bludgeon our biggest draw on live national TV, they let her get hacked, bumped, shoved, clotheslined, and memed into oblivion. Every time Caitlin got hit, Twitter wasn't talking about league toughness, they were talking about league insecurity. And sponsors noticed. You could almost hear them saying, okay, if you won't protect her, we will. And then the checks started sliding, not away from the WNBA entirely, but directly toward Caitlin Clark herself. Commercials featuring Caitlin got bigger. The WNBA logo on those commercials got smaller. Eventually, it was like a Where's Waldo situation. Is the league even in this ad? Hello? Before long, Caitlin Clark became the product, not the WNBA. And that's when the real panic started. By the way, comment Caitlin effect if you're still with me. I love seeing who the real ones are. Picture this. You're in a WNBA boardroom. Someone drops the latest sponsor report on the table. It basically reads, hey, we're keeping our deal with the league, but we want Caitlin exclusive rights. Another company says, yeah, we're shifting money out of WNBA promos and into campaigns built only around her. And in that moment, everyone realizes the value is no longer tied to the league. It's tied to one player. That's not a PR problem. That's a power problem. Because once the sponsors and the fans realize the WNBA is optional and Caitlin is essential, the league loses leverage, influence, maybe even relevance. This is what insiders are calling the tipping point. One sponsor backing away is a red flag. 3 or 4? That's a vote of no confidence. Owners start asking, why is our biggest star taking the hardest hits? Why does every viral moment happen despite league strategy? Why are sponsors asking for Caitlin tours instead of playoff packages? Fans feel it too. If they start thinking the league resents the same player who made them care, they'll follow the player, not the logo. Because loyalty in modern sports, it doesn't belong to leagues anymore. It belongs to stars. And here's the scary part. This isn't hypothetical. If the sponsor shift continues, here's what happens in the worst-case scenario. Games without Caitlin tank in ratings. Expansion plans freeze. Marketing budgets shrink. Players lose leverage. Merchandise sales drop. The league struggles to stay nationally relevant. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark's brand skyrockets. She goes global. She does tours, documentaries, special events. Nike pushes her into another universe. And wherever she goes, the sponsors follow. At that point, you have to ask, can the WNBA survive without Caitlin Clark? Or has the league accidentally taught fans that she matters more than everything else combined? Just when the sponsor drama was heating up, Caitlin Clark dropped not 1, but 2 commercials that set the entire internet on fire. First, the State Farm spot. Jake from State Farm plus Caitlin Clark equals instant cultural moment. People who don't know insurance from a toaster were quoting it. Then came the big one, Nike. Holiday season. New Kobe-inspired shoe. A commercial with editing and cinematography better than half the movies on streaming. There's a shot where Caitlin opens her eyes in the locker room and the Kobe logo flashes in her pupil like a Mamba-themed superpower. Fans lost it. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, everywhere. Frame-by-frame breakdowns, memes, reaction compilations, edits with dramatic music and slow-mo. The entire thing felt like a Super Bowl spot dropped in the middle of a random Tuesday. And why? Because Nike finally realized something. Caitlin Clark isn't just profitable, she's inevitable. The commercial featured her alongside stars like Aja Wilson and Sha'Carri Richardson, but Caitlin was the gravitational anchor. The message was powerful. You will be told you can't, so win anyway. It was cinematic, electric, emotional, and it instantly became one of the most successful Nike women's basketball ads in history. Fans who had never watched a WNBA game were commenting, "I came for the ad, and now I'm watching Caitlin highlights." That's insane, and exactly why brands won't stop calling her. Research teams estimate Caitlin Clark already drives a massive percentage of WNBA ticket sales, huge jersey revenue, massive viewership spikes, major sponsor interest, enormous search trends and engagement. So when Nike drops a Caitlin Clark ad, or Gatorade, or Wilson, they're not guessing. They're investing. And they know the return will be absurd. Her signature shoe? Projected to be one of the biggest women's basketball releases ever. Her merchandise? Selling out in minutes. Her commercials breaking algorithm records. This isn't hype. This is a market correction. Caitlin Clark is becoming the first global superstar in women's basketball who moves culture, not just basketball metrics. So where does this leave the WNBA? Here's the uncomfortable truth. You cannot fight the gravity of your own superstar. You can't cash her checks while pretending she's just another rookie. You can't let her get knocked around like a...
Do you think sponsors are right to follow Caitlin instead of the league? Or are they accidentally helping destroy the future of women's basketball? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you're still watching, type Clark over league, so I know you made it all the way through this chaos. Make sure to hit like so more people see this breakdown, and subscribe if you want more deep dives into the business, drama, and psychology of sports. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Seriously, you being here means more than you think. See you in the next one.